Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Hiba Kasmani. Do you guys know what we're gonna discuss today? If you guessed wind, then you're correct. We cannot see air, we cannot smell or taste air, and yet we are surrounded by it. Air covers the land and the sea, and forms the atmosphere high above us. Without air, there would be no life on earth, because living things need the oxygen in the air to stay alive. Although air is invisible, we feel its effects when it pushes against us as wind. Wind is moving air and is caused by differences in air pressure within our atmosphere. It is produced by the uneven heating of the earth by the sun. Since the earth is made of various land and water formations, it absorbs the sun's radiation unevenly. Three factors are necessary to specify wind. These are speed, strength, and direction. Depending on their strengths, winds can be known as a breeze, gale, hurricane, or tornado. Now that we know what wind is, let us find out how wind occurs. Wind is formed when the cool air moves in to replace warm air. As the sun warms the earth's surface, the atmosphere warms too. Warm air, which weighs less than cold air, rises. Then cool air moves in to replace the rising warm air. This movement of air is what makes the wind blow. As the sun hits the earth, the air also heats up. Now warm air will rise and cold air will sink. This rising and sinking of air causes uneven air pressure. So we see that when the warm air rises and the cold air sinks, there is uneven air pressure. Now the cold air will move in, will spread out so that it can replace the rising warm air. Okay, we really can't stay on wind formation forever. Let's change. I know what we'll do. We can talk about the different types of winds and how strong each one is. Sea breeze is wind along the coast. As air above the land is heated by the sun, it expands and begins to rise, weighing lighter than the surrounding air. The rising air is replaced by the cooler air from the sea. This sea breeze is a pleasant cooling influence on a hot summer afternoon. A land breeze occurs at night when the land cools faster than the sea. The air above the warm water is heated and it rises, pulling in air from the cooler land. Whoa! Help! Help! They are flying away in this terrible windstorm! Let me tell you all about a windstorm. A windstorm is a storm or very strong wind. We can say a windstorm is a gale. Windstorms can sometimes pull trees out of their places. That's so strong. It really would be scary getting into one suddenly. What you're seeing on the screen now is a hurricane. A hurricane is a large rotating storm with high-speed winds and heavy rain. They form near the equator over warm ocean waters. The term hurricane is used only for the large storms that form over the Atlantic Ocean or Eastern Pacific Ocean. The term for these storms, wherever they occur, is actually tropical cyclone. Other names, depending on where in the world they are born, are typhoons, cyclones, severe tropical cyclones, or severe cyclonic storms. Now, what's this thing zooming round and round here? Is it a tornado? Oh yes, it is a tornado. A tornado is a violently rotating column of air that is in contact with both the surface of the earth and a cloud. A tornado can suck up anything in their way. Whoa! So we better not go near one or else we'll get sucked in. Ooh, that's scary. Now I'm gonna tell you how we use the wind. One of the most popular uses of wind energy is in generating electricity. This picture here is showing you how wind energy is useful in making electricity. First, wind turns blades of the wind turbine. Then turbines turn generators, making electricity. Transformers at substations increase voltage of electricity. And finally, electricity is distributed. An enjoyable use of wind energy is for sports and activities that rely on the power of the wind. Some examples are kite flying, windsurfing, kite surfing, sailing, parasailing, and wind skiing. Another use of wind energy is in transportation. Fishing trawlers and even cargo ships have had large kites installed. These can help reduce fuel consumption on long journeys under the right conditions. Wind has been used for hundreds and thousands of years to power sailing and smaller vessels, but now it is also being used to help power larger cargo ships as well. Wind pumps have a similar look to a traditional windmill, but instead of milling grain, they can pump water. These structures were historically used for the draining of land. Just like windmills used in food production, wind pumps have almost all been replaced due to the introduction of electric motors. In the early days, windmills were widely used for milling grain, so that it could be used for producing food such as bread and flour. Weather forecasters used wind to forecast or predict weather. Now I'll tell you the advantages and disadvantages of wind. It's a readily available, clean, renewable natural resource. Wind is pollution-free. Wind turbines reduce a nation's demand for imported fuel sources. Wind is a reliable energy resource. Wind creates jobs. Disadvantages. Wind turbines can be a threat to wildlife. Wind turbines are noisy. Wind is not always available. Wind turbines are expensive. Wind turbines create visual pollution.